2021. We call the Halifax Board of Selectmen meeting to order. The meeting is being taped by Area 58 and simulcast out on Zoom. And we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any additions to the agenda? Okay. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. First up is executive session, meeting minutes, June 8th, 2021, session 2.
I move to approve. I read them.
Second.
All those in favor? Yes.
Aye.
I recuse. Okay, move to affirm the following warrants and commitments. Is there a motion?
You want me to read them all?
Yeah. You do 'em.
Vendor warrant number 49 for $138,611.05. Payroll warrant number 50 for $405,642.87. Vendor warrant number 51 for $291,367.22. The school warrant number 52 for $476,072.27. Withholding warrant number 53 for $144,335.26. Ambulance commitment from 11/15 to 11/21/21 for $4,005.49. And the ambulance commitment from 11/22 to 11/28/21 for $49,398.28.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I abstain.
I move to affirm payment of the following selectmen bill: South Coastal County's legal service for fiscal year 2022 services for $3,500.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay, unanimous.
I move to approve the following warrant and commitment: vendor warrant number 55 for $120,844.83, and the mobile home park fee number 12 for $5,160.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Then I move to approve payment of the following selectmen bills: KP Law for $2,107, Relax for $74.26, Michael C. Gilman for $759, William August for $440, WB Mason for $64.88.
Second moves.
All those in favor? Aye.
Okay, recuse. Okay, up next we have license renewals. Is there a motion to approve all listed on the agenda for alcoholic beverage, Class 1, Class 2, Class 3, common vicular, subsection 2, New Year's Eve extended hours, public entertainment Sundays, public entertainment weekdays?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Did you guys see that on the family and friends, but you just do that one contingent on, that I get the paperwork?
Okay, so, we'll do a second motion then. So, is there a motion for a contingency on receiving paperwork for Family and Friends Enterprise, DBA Santoro's Pizza?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay, you motioned it, right? Ashley, you
Yeah.
made the motion? Okay,
I was confused
up
with your
next,
absence.
we have an abatement request for recycling. This is for bill number 2445. To whom it may concern, I'm writing on behalf of my husband, Jonathan Hammond, and myself, Laura Hammond. We purchased 10 Old Farm Road at the end of July 2021 from the Whitneys to the address on the demand bill. Upon purchase of the home, we were not informed of the town's recycling protocols. We do not have recycling bins and have never had recycling removed from our home by the town. We also have been using wind waste innovations for our trash and recycling removal and will continue to do so for 2022. Please see the attached letter. As we were uninformed of the procedures, we did miss the abatement deadline. We apologize for the late form. We were out of the country on our honeymoon.
Move for abatement.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay. Proposed agreement with Lakeville Animal Shelter. We had previously talked about looking into Kingston is,
Chief.
Chief is not on. I don't believe that we received anything from Kingston, so I think at this point in time it would be prudent to authorize the agreement with Lakeville.
Well, we've had a very good relationship with them.
Okay.
I'll move it.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Oh,
Yeah, there's-
We all have to sign.
Yeah.
Two copies. So-
kind of loud in there.
Yeah. All right, next on the agenda is a quote to Harding, quote for, to send to Harding print for the May 22 warrant. Pam's. We're gonna send that to them as we've done in the past.
Yeah, this is just to let them know what we want printed, right?
Yeah, it will all be, it's all listed and I'll send that to him. I usually do it through email and then I'll send it back to him. So we can get it out through to our next meeting and then you guys can decide what you want to do with that. Cool.
Okay.
So move.
Perfect.
Is there a second?
Do we quote with anyone else or just them?
We've just been doing it the last couple of years. Maybe on that couple of years since.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous? So up next, we have memo to the board's department, submission dates for inventory lists, budgets, articles, and town reports, and Ed wanted to speak to this.
Well, yeah, and in addition to that, to let the board know that, you know, those memos have been sent out for, as what you just said, inventory list, budgets, and all that, and that's, we're starting that right now. And as part of looking at a budget, then we're also reviewing the current year's budget, you know, to see what are problem areas and what are areas that, you know, we probably are gonna need to transfer funds from, and to. So, you know, we're looking at that. That'll be an ongoing process between now and the May town meeting.
Okay.
So we'll have hopefully a game plan in place by then. In addition to that, there are a couple other projects that the board had pending in asking me to look at. Number one was the solar farm on the Cap landfill. There's a couple of players that are involved in that. There was some email correspondence between Charlie and Seth Pickering from DEP, and I know Seth from the days when he was the Green Communities guy, you know, for Southeastern Mass. So I reached out to him today to let him know that I was here, and and we would go through the process and all that. And then of course Steve Hayward, and then as I mentioned to the chairman, Jerry Joy came in today, introduced himself, and we chatted about what he perceived as being the plan to maybe eventually own the solar facility, as opposed to having a 20-year deal with a company like some towns have done, and we did in Pembroke when we capped that landfill and put a solar array in there. So I gave Jerry a copy of the plan from Pembroke, so that it would be a payment in lieu of taxes, a lease, and hopefully a net metering credits for all of the town departments.
Okay.
And and get a savings over 15, 20 years. So we got that. Today I met with Tom DiPolo, who's a rep for Maya, and we went for about an hour and a half through the town's insurance policies. And of course now I got a to-do list that's about 20 items long to answer questions that he had, including one of them that he mentioned about the town owning the country club property. I said, I didn't know that. And so he wanted to, I thought that was news to me, even though I'm a newcomer. But anyway, so those are the list of things that we'll do, and so that some of the departments can attend seminars to get credit for, so that we can get credit on, on our bill.
Insurance, right.
And so we got the Maya update. I sent an email to the Center for Living and Working on the ADA plan.
Okay.
Okay, I think there was only one section left of that, and so I've been involved in that in the past about the plan, putting the plan together, and I'm trying to remember what the part of the plan that says this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So it identifies municipal buildings, and it identifies municipal properties like playgrounds and
Yeah.
whatever. So I reached out to the I think it's Mr. Kennedy, that was with the Center for Living and Working. So, and then I went through the solid waste contract that expires this summer,
Okay.
and I was curious as to how the town. I was quizzing Pam today because I had to make a run to Pembroke, and I was coming back down 36, and I was behind a green Halifax truck, and I went, okay, what's he doing? And so he was picking up curbside,
Yep.
right, the way the town of Halifax does it. And then I was curious as to, well, where do you take where's the trash go, where's the recycling go, and all that. And and I looked at the contract that we have with Waste Management, and saw that they would take the bulky waste to a facility on right off of the railroad that goes right through the middle of and in fact the facility's got railroad cars where the trucks would just unload onto the railroad cars, and then they head out maybe New York State or Pennsylvania, because that seems to be the trend for solid waste, that more and more landfills are closing, more and more facilities are closing, and so it appears that right now a lot of solid waste in Massachusetts is being shipped to Midwestern states.
Okay.
And so it appears that that's where that facility is going. And then of course, single stream recyclables are going to Avon. Waste Management's got a facility there in Avon, and that's where pretty much where all towns are sending their recyclables. So anyway, that'll be something that the board and the town will be looking at as that solid waste contract comes to an end this summer. Area 58, you're going to be talking to town council about the new Comcast contract and all that. And then another program that is real important to communities is the Complete Streets program. And I see where Steve, Public Works, or Highway
Yeah.
Surveyor,
Surveyor.
Surveyor, that's what they call it. And then there's a Courtney Beckwith that is with Green Seal
Yep.
Environmental, and they're like the consultant for the town. Complete Streets program is a great program. You know, there was some hesitancy on some towns' parts to be involved in that, but it's a great program, and there are some programs that are in that program that are very beneficial to the community. So those are some of the things that we've been working on the last 5 days that I've been in the office.
Okay.
6 days. So
So,
that's my report.
thank you. So Maya learned that we don't own the contract. All right. 6:45. Laura Black, do you want to come up? So we have an extension of a trailer permit?
What's your projection is when the project's gonna be finished?
Hasn't
I have
spent
no
any-
idea. They
I
haven't-
have no idea. Definitely a year anyway, I would guess. No idea.
We have in the past given people a double extension when they're uncertain about the property. It hasn't started yet.
They're also with their insurance.
What's your,
A year.
okay. The trailer's there already?
Yeah,
or-
the picture's also right there.
Okay. Yep. Oh, okay.
One side, yeah,
Okay, I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
open it up all the way.
That saves her from coming before the board again.
Yeah.
For another extension.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll send you a letter. And I'll call you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Sorry for
How are you?
going through the process.
I know, it's unreal. More, just so everybody knows, more trees are falling since this tree fell.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The next appointment's at 7, so,
Ambulance abatements.
yeah. Just on the budgets, I am going to send out a letter or email to the department heads with the spreadsheet that we went over the last time with those big items. I just, more things are being added to it, so I will send that out. Ambulance abatements for November 21. Is there a motion to approve $85,408.07?
Move.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. So we received an email from Joan Pierce at the Fisheries and Wildlife. Parcel on Aldana transaction has been completed.
Have we got the check here?
Didn't they give us a check and then we ended up paying for something too, didn't
I thought we got the check previously and we were waiting on the transfer of the land to close the transaction.
we? I can double check.
We were talking to Sliver. wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. There's talent bank submissions from Steve Littlefield and John Sullivan to be appointed to the traffic safety committee. Is there a motion?
We only have one seat left.
There's only
No, I
one.
thought there was
There's two.
But we have one person at large, don't we?
No,
only
I
one
thought
stepped up.
Susan-
No, that was super sealed, but then she doesn't want to be, remember she had stepped
Don't we
down?
have, we don't have another at large?
I don't think so.
I thought she dropped off.
There's two.
She did, the only thing she's gonna stay on is being an historian.
Right.
That was it. Who was the other
I
one?
don't know why, I thought we only had the one, but I could be wrong. The chief would know better. I mean, shouldn't we have them come in and talk to them like we do with everybody else?
Sure, we can schedule them to come in.
Have them come in on the next meeting, then I'll clarify with how many at-large seats we have,
Okay.
just what we normally do.
All right, we need to appoint an ADA coordinator for non-school departments. Is there a motion to appoint Mr. Thorne as the ADA coordinator?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Another distant thing,
Well, we got a few more for him on the list.
move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
The next one, designate someone, Mr. Thorne, to authorize to approve, finalize, and submit the ARPA grant application on behalf of the town. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. A few more minutes.
Anything else you want to do? Okay.
We've
I'll save
only
it for the
got-
next
We've
meeting.
only got a few more items on the agenda. We have an email from Joanne Zigmut requesting that the discussion on the high water levels in the dam site visit be postponed until after the new year. So she had sent that message in November, trying to schedule would be difficult for them in December. So we'll try to schedule it when there's no snow on the ground.
The worst weather comes in January.
Yeah.
January and February are the worst.
So we next have forms for use of the town council to be sent to the department boards and committees. So we received a request for legal services form, and we just need to vote a motion to send that form.
No, we already voted to use the form. Now you want to vote to send it to
They
the
have to
committees?
fill out the forms, don't they?
Right.
So
Yeah.
if they don't have the forms to fill out, then they can't fill them out. Do you know what I'm saying? So you're gonna email them to them, or you're gonna give them a hard
Oh, you're
copy?
saying I didn't send it to you yet?
I don't know, maybe you were gonna send it to the boards and committees?
All right,
And I had asked you to
Okay.
email it out. So either way, it's whether you email it to them so that they have it in,
all right, I can do that.
or they can have hard copies.
Okay,
So that's all you need to do.
all right, so no vote needed, just need to follow
You
through.
can get forwarded to them.
Okay, then we have a vote to include the clarification on the rate of pay for the building commissioner, inspector of building, Steve Solari. So the agreed upon rate is $50 per inspection.
So moved.
Is there a second? All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right. Up next, we have contract on Pine Street Bridge extension of time. So we have form that we need to vote for,
You to sign.
and I have to sign. So is there a motion to accept the terms of the contract to extend the date period to June 30th, 2022?
So moved.
Second.
And that's with Mass DOT.
Yes, Mass DOT. All those in
We
favor?
also vote to allow the chair to sign and
Yeah.
move the
Okay, all
Yep.
those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. So that's for the contractor. Twelve, 14, 2021. Pam, on this one, it says the authorizing signature for the contractor. We consider the
So-
contractor?
What's the other side say? Is there something
It
else?
says authorizing signature for Mass DOT, but. All right, yeah, I guess,
Yeah, when-
all right. 12, 14, 2021. All right, that's all signed. We got 4 more minutes. discussion and possible vote on public meeting locations, audio-visual requirements for town boards, committees, and commissions. So Caesar's got this room set up and the Great Hall set up for meeting spaces. So I guess we should vote to ask that all boards and committees either use this room or the Great Hall for their meetings when they need to be set up for the hybrid system. And
Zoom.
Zoom.
Will that impair them from having meetings on the dates they want? The scheduling this room and upstairs is gonna be
Well, I guess the point was if they're gonna use the hybrid system, they gotta use one of the two rooms.
Right.
Because that's all we have set up. So that we don't have to have another room set up. The only conflict right now is conservation with us. So they'd have to use upstairs if we're in here.
But we have 2 rooms, we can run them both at the same time, right?
Yeah.
not so long.
Alright, is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Alright, unanimous. And then we're gonna ask the chief when he comes in to talk about the police station network related equipment with Caesar. So, guess we can hold off on that. We have a scheduled appointment with Elevated Routes to discuss the host community agreement. We have, did anyone from the Board of Health get back to us saying they're coming in? And then we have beautification listed at 7:30. So, alright.
Yep.
2-minute recess. Stand up.
I'll teach you.
What's that?
You have to sign this, Troy.
No,
For the liquor licenses and that's the recycling abatement. What'd you forget? You didn't forget, we're still here. Oh.
Abatement?
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of licenses, if you want to sign, there's 3, you're gonna sign right here.
Okay.
And there's 3 for each one, so there's 12, and they'll sign. 4 different establishments, 3 copies.
Shouldn't take this. We'll sign these.
So this area, is it that way or that way?
It's the Santander Bank.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
After the break, Caesar wants to go back to that,
Agenda item?
yep, that agenda item.
Okay. Does everyone have to sign these, Pam, or just me?
Just you one of those ones, but then I have,
Lucky you.
yeah, stop reading.
Hold on.
44.
Only 43, that's better. We can do this. Are we're holding off on this one though, right? Or do you want me to sign it?
You can sign it after something, there's no.
Okay,
They,
gotcha.
Okay.
You say. I should be using black pen.
All right, it looks like it's 7 o'clock. So we have an appointment with Elevated Routes to discuss the host community agreement. you guys want to come up and just give us an overview of?
Sure. If you don't mind, Chair, I'll sit up here.
Sure.
So just by way of background for everybody that maybe just hearing about it or whatever the case may be, we first appeared before the board on September 28th, where we did an introduction to the board, and by way of the board, the community. It was a Zoom meeting, and we went through the scope of the project, introduced the location, went through some of the design elements, exterior, interior, floor plan, things like that. So I was on September 28th. We came back before the board on or about November 2nd to do our community forum and our /CCC community outreach meeting. Those were done kind of together in one night. Again, we did that via Zoom here in this room along with the board. We haven't received any public comment during almost 90, it's been about 90 days now since we first introduced the project going back to September 28th. So it's been really good. We're ready to move forward on the building and get going on construction. As you know, you may remember, we talked a lot at the last meeting about our location in Kingston and giving people the opportunity to come by and view that, certainly Halifax residents as well as officials. So that's something that's been available to folks to come by and see how we're operating. I think one of the largest benefits to the town is that the residents and the town officials as a whole have the ability to go evaluate how we're actually operating and reach out to Kingston and see how we're doing there. And it's been a great relationship with that town, still going very well, both in sales and handling of customers. We still aren't having any issues. That store's been open since April, so we're about 8 months into it, I guess. Just over 8 months actually. So everything's going really well. So we're feeling very confident in our ability to execute here in Halifax in the same way we did there. And really looking forward to working with the town as we move forward. So where we are in the process, assuming the board would vote to enter into a host community agreement tonight, we would need that and the CCC certification form signed, which we've already countersigned. We received the town's version, and I apologize, I don't want to say the entity name because I may get it wrong, but the prior host community agreement you entered into.
Yep.
We received that. We basically just changed the name, so they're, I think, identical in terms and conditions as to what the town did previously. So our attorney signed off, sent that back to the town, and then we pre-signed the HCA certification form for the CCC. So we've done all the paperwork on our side as far as that goes. Next steps, assuming the board were to take a vote to move forward with the HCA, we would then begin the application process at the state, which takes a few months depending on how quickly they're moving through the agenda. They don't meet in December, so there's a little bit of a ripple effect to that because they have a bigger January and stuff falls over. We all know how that goes, so there's only so much time for these meetings. So that's where we would be at the state process, and then here at the town process, we would start working on working with the building department, building permits, and so on and so forth, through the planning permit. So those are really the next steps if we got the green light from the board to proceed.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
The only question I have is the location you have where the Sanders Bank used to be.
Yes, sir.
The traffic coming out of there, if necessary, would you put an officer to direct traffic? Did get to
Absolutely, and I think we even talked about that in the host community agreement, but if we have like our grand opening and we anticipate some kind of traffic impact there, we would work with the chief on that opening. That's somewhat standard practice, so we would talk to the chief, hey, this is what we're doing, time frame. The opening is fairly orchestrated, so the CCC issues a commence operations letter, and in that letter it says you cannot open for 72 hours. And that's really just to get everybody on the same page, and everybody means the chief, the town, ourselves, get everybody ready. It's a 72-hour pause basically, and we can open at that time or any time later. So if that time were 1 o'clock on Sunday, we could just open on Monday morning or something, anytime after the 72 hours. So at that point, we'll be talking to all the local departments during the construction and whatnot anyway, but during that 72 hours is really where we say, okay, we finally got our you can open letter, which is an actual document we get from the CCC. We'd make sure everybody knew that. We'd coordinate with the chief to figure out what we need for details to the extent we need them. And it's a very collaborative process. Yeah. And everybody will know along the way as we get approvals when those are occurring. As a matter of fact, going one step before that, prior to our licensing, the board will get, or the town will, not the board, but the town will receive a communication from the CCC just confirming that we're still good, we haven't moved locations, we're still at the location we said we were at, we still comply with all your zoning, so on and so forth. So it is, as I think you're going through this with another company now, but it is a little bit of a collaborative process where, you know, communications go back and forth between us, the CCC, and the town. So no one will be like, oh, I didn't know they opened that. That wouldn't happen. So yeah, it's more collaborative than that.
Okay, thank you.
Ashley?
I don't have any questions.
Okay.
I see no implementing the project on that corner. Doesn't look bad. I mean, the bank was there and they had the same kind of traffic. In fact, maybe more.
Good.
As much as I hope it has a positive effect on town, I'm going to agree to the HCA at least offer it.
I appreciate it.
It's up to the full board. to
So
do.
is that a motion?
It's a motion.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
And Mr. Chairman, just in the event we need another motion, would that be a motion to sign both documents? Do we need anything?
Is there a motion for the chair to sign the documents?
No, he's talking about the HCA and the
CCC form?
CCC form.
So I,
Yeah.
So there's,
Yeah, that's the.
so I motion for us to sign the CCC form.
okay.
That's it.
Second.
Are you saying that it's, because it looks like it's one signature, so you're saying the chair signing?
Yes.
Okay, all those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you all. Appreciate it
Thank you.
very much. We're looking forward to it.
Name of the,
you very much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
name of the municipality contracting authority.
And we'll just follow up with you tomorrow on the documents, is that?
Yeah, yeah, you can follow up.
Is there a follow-up? Okay, great. Thank you so much. Have a great
Thank you.
day. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
very Thanks.
Happy holidays.
You as well. Take care.
Huh?
Those two different forms, or they both the same?
The two different ones.
It's the same form, it's just the way it printed, it's on.
Now, the bank's here. Isn't there
One didn't say
property
HCA and one didn't say,
CCC.
between where the current bank is and the road? Are they
Yeah.
gonna have all that?
Cumberland Farms owns that property. Big problem with that is that it needs above ground septic system because it's so wet over there. It's right downhill from the lake.
Do we have the HCA printed out to sign as well?
I don't think I saw it.
Okay.
But I can get that from them.
Okay, well, that's signed.
What you said, or you give it to me?
Give it to you or to Pam? Pam? Just go to Pam. Okay, discussion and possible vote on the use of ARPA funds to upgrade the police department's network and related equipment.
Is the chief on
Yes.
Zoom? Yes.
Yes, he is.
Did you unmute him?
I can't unmute him. I was unmuted now. I am muted.
So you're having network issues with the equipment that's there now, chief?
Yeah, I believe Steve will speak to it, more of an expert on it than I am. Sergeant Jordan would be at this meeting, but unfortunately, he had a death in the family. So Steve can give you a briefing on the meeting we had, what we've had, yes, continuous network issues there.
Okay.
So right now, the police department has very aged equipment. Particularly their wireless equipment is about 10+ years old.
Okay.
And it is awful. Even when I'm there, I don't use it. I use my hotspot. It's faster. Alongside that, the firewall and other various networking equipment such as the switches and network security appliances, they're not licensed properly, and they're outdated, and they have been updated in a while because they haven't had the appropriate maintenance or subscriptions paid to support them. We've had a few security incidences recently with the police department, nothing that we haven't been able to resolve, but being the police department and the type of information that they handle, I'm requesting that a discussion be brought up to use ARPA funds to upgrade and refresh their network so it's up to par with not only the security requirements that the state mandates us to have, which we are not compliant with, as well as the baseline security requirements of the state in terms of cybersecurity, which will be going into effect very soon, like before town meeting soon.
So, out of the ARPA unrestricted funds, how much are you asking for?
This is a budgetary quote. This has not been budgetary as it will get depending on stock and
Yep.
the approval. Right now, we're looking at an estimated $30,000 that will replace all of its infrastructure. That includes the wireless access points, the wireless controller, that includes the firewall, the switches, any equipment related to handle their fiber connections, the whole 9 yards. And that's what that cost is. That's the install, that's them configuring it, our managed service provider configuring that. 6 months from now, it could be more expensive with inflation and equipment availability. I don't know if the equipment's available right now, but that's what the cost is. It needs a large overhaul. I know it's a lot of money.
Is there anyone else we can quote from?
We can. The vendor that we have, our managed service provider, is on the state contract, and the primary reason for me not outsourcing to other companies is because the equipment that they would be putting in is equivalent or the same, essentially, as our partner departments that are part of the regional Old Colony Communications Center. So it's equipment that they're familiar with. It's the equipment that will communicate most effectively with the other member departments and our dispatch center. So I rely heavily on them to make sure that that communication is, top priority.
All right.
How much downtime would the station have?
I believe when we did our network refresh here, we did it on a Friday, and there was no more than an hour or so, and we planned the downtime to do it slowly, but I'm sure it can be done without it, or off hours for the most part. It's not something that will be taking them down for days or weeks or something like that. It's a matter of configuring the equipment, plugging it in, and moving cables.
So the major cost is installing material or getting it?
The major cost is the equipment, which is what you'd spend more capitally. That's something you get one time, and after that you just have your standard renewal charges on an annual basis. Part of the problem that we're having now is from my understanding, those subscription costs to maintain and update that equipment wasn't paid for. It was opted out of, I guess is the right term I'm looking for.
So is that annual subscription cost going to come out of the IT budget or out of the police budget going forward?
It would likely, I have to talk to the chief about it. We're talking about moving some of the IT operational costs to IT to centralize it a bit more, but we haven't had that conversation yet.
Okay.
Right now, for this year coming up, it probably come out of the police department.
Chief, do you want to just speak to the reasons to do it now with ARPA funds versus waiting to town meeting?
Well, one of the reasons is because, you know, it will alleviate some more of the burden on our taxpayers. Obviously, you know, we're going into a troubled time financially. If we can have the ARPA money, be able to utilize it, it's just one less task that we don't have to, you know, put on the taxpayers' shoulders.
What's the board's feeling about using the unrestricted ARPA funds on this?
The alternative would be town meeting, by the way.
What's that?
The alternative would be just town meeting.
Yeah, I know.
Did Sandy ever get us the breakdown of what we've spent, what we have left, all that she was working on? I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
Problem we have, the only thing I have with it, I'm not against it, but is that if you install the material in there, then who's gonna maintain it, and when it's ready to do it, are it gonna cost us another $30,000-$60,000 down the road?
I mean, similar how we did our refresh for the town hall and the other town facilities on the town network, it was a one-time capital expense, and then you have a refresh period of, you know, between 6 and 10 years, depending on how well it was maintained or what cyber threats emerge that make the equipment ultimately ineffective. And we can't plan for those types of incidents, but when we buy the equipment, it goes in, the only thing we're doing is maintaining the software, and we'll have the support from not only our managed service provider, but also the support of, with the contracts of the equipment that we're getting to make sure that equipment lasts as long as it possibly can.
Is there anything in the Meyer insurance plan that says that you must, if you know that there's issues, you must replace equipment? Or, I mean, it sounds like you recognize there's an actual issue with the equipment that's there and you're having intrusions.
Would I say that Meyer requires it? No. Would I say that it would be smart of us to do that and protect us from liability in the event that something does happen because of our equipment? Yes. I'm sure that they would be for it for that simple fact. I mean, I don't, you know, can an insurance company require us to do something? Sure, I guess, if they want to keep us.
I'm in favor of this, but I would like the number from Sandy before we vote.
I agree. So can we move this to the next meeting, and that will be after the holiday, and see if Sandy can get us the breakdown?
Okay.
I agree.
And in the meantime, Mr. Chairman, I'll meet with Caesar and we'll get the Maya information for you.
Okay, thank you.
And we had talked about that earlier.
Right.
too.
Okay.
This is actually one of the stuff that I have to find out, so.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. Sorry for your loss. So next.
Yes, Jack, it was actually Professor Sterling's family member this time as well. We've got a number of family members of ours who've passed away the last week or so. I appreciate your kind words. Thank you.
While we're on that subject, it's not on the agenda and it's not within the 48 hours, but we did lose a retired employee this week, Kathy Dryden, who's a longtime Board of Health agent. And I know her services are going to be Friday from 4 to 7 at Blanchard's in Whitman. I plan on attending.
I've been some reviews in the local paper.
Yeah. Is there something we can do from the town or from the board? Either sending flowers or a card to the family or something? I think would be, should put a lot of work into the town, dosing the kids.
But, I'll get a card tomorrow, leave it in the Selectmen's office. Anybody that would like to sign, or any residents that want to sign, can have it available for them.
Business services.
Yeah. The service is at Friday from 4 to 7 at Blanchard's. She was a very nice person. And the community, she worked really hard for our community. So she will definitely be missed. Do we have, Board of Health is not,
Do you wanna go back an agenda item with Caesar until 7:30? And then we'll talk about beautification,
you,
the public meeting locations.
Oh, I just wanted to clarify, are we requiring boards and committees to start recording? Because that's not,
well, every committee should be recording. I thought we voted that.
what I believe was voted was that every board or committee, if they are recording.
No, I thought we voted at a previous meeting.
Every meeting should be.
Every meeting should be recorded.
I don't recall that.
I thought we had a discussion and we had the boards come in. Committees.
Are you talking about being filmed through Area 58?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you're allowed so many programs each year. And I think you guys had asked boards and committees if they wanted to be taken. I think pretty much everybody did except for, I don't think Board of Health is being filmed.
They are.
Yeah.
I believe that
I
we were
thought
the only
we-
ones that actually did it, all the other ones either.
I was gonna say, I thought we had made a
refused
full
or
motion.
wanted-
Well, we should,
Go back
Reach out to
the
Area-
minutes,
yeah, we should reach out to Area 58 too and make sure that we,
Because everybody should be being recorded. And by using these two rooms, that will help that. And I think that if we're gonna continue with the Zoom meetings, I mean, technically we still are dealing with COVID. We've heard a lot of compliments from the people in town that they can log in. A lot of the parents that can't make it to the meetings. I think all meetings should be Zoomed if we're gonna do that.
So just so I can get clarification on the last vote, are all board and committees supposed to be meeting in this room and upstairs, or is that only if they're recording?
We're gonna check on that.
Well, they all should be recording, so therefore they should all be meeting in either of these rooms. And the only conflict was us in conservation, but we have two rooms. So how would we go forward with that as far as making sure the rooms and Caesar knows?
well, it needs to be a communication between the town clerk and Caesar and the chairs of the committees,
All right, I can talk to Sue tomorrow
right?
on how best
Just to
do
make
that.
sure, right?
And then it might be smart, whether it be Ed or the board, to send out a notice to the boards and committees, letting them know that meetings will be recorded moving forward. And then if there's a start date you guys want to start that, whether it be starting in January or affecting the meeting.
Yep.
Yeah.
We can reach out to Area 58, double check on the number of meetings that they're supposed to be providing for us. And then go through and count the annual meetings. We'll do that at the next meeting then, so we can add that to the agenda. Tapings and Area 58 discussion.
Okay.
So like,
Um,
I think,
Ask Ms. Troop to go early, or no?
What's that?
You wanna go with beautification early?
Amy, you the only one coming from beautification?
I believe I am.
Sorry to take you early then?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
All right, so a few things. I'll start with what's on my lap. We have a certification that we received as a committee, which is moving a little up, that is from the Halifax, it's from Keep Massachusetts Beautiful, and we were gonna ask, obviously we're gonna have to have it fixed, but to put it up there. It was a vote of the Halifax Beautification Committee to ask the selectmen if we could hang it in here.
I don't see a problem with
No
it.
problem with it.
Do we need a vote for that, or?
We just need to ask Scott if he can hang it.
Sure we can.
Do you need the fire truck? You think you need the ladder truck for it? Need the ladder truck with it?
Yeah, please.
And the next item is something we need a little research on, whether or not we can get a donate button on the Halifax Beautification Facebook page.
I guess that would be a question for the treasurer collector's office. Because if the funds have to flow through her, she needs to be able to process that.
Track it.
I can tell you that they tried to, even fireworks, I believe even our fireworks donation thing ended up getting, because it wasn't used, closed out. But I do know that it's work for them to add on those types of accounts.
Okay.
But she would be the best person to.
She'd be the person to manage that, so yeah.
Okay, then I will definitely talk to her. And then the next thing is that we started talking at our last meeting about having a vendor fair. And we wanted to maybe get, the Great Hall, but I'm thinking bigger. I would like to get over into the multi-purpose room of the gym and rent it for the day, or have it available to us so that we can have vendors such as, water filter, vendors from anything that would go on your sink, or the pitchers or whole house ones, get vendors for that. And reusable bottles, rain barrels, compost, chiropractors, masseuses, and anybody that's a vendor or a craft person, not necessarily having to use repurpose items and make things, but we did talk about that it would be great if we could get people like that. For instance, CT's was at an event one time, and they make t-shirts out of plastic. On Chronicle, there was bathing suits being made out of plastic bottles. And so just trying to pull together whether or not you guys would be agreeable to what? Have some space. Sorry, I just saw that. So.
This should be fine.
I know that the
I'm sorry.
what is it's not a networking group, but I can't think of the name of it. The local business association.
Chamber.
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce. I know has used the gym before for. I would be fine with that. I'm just not sure what the process is.
I mean, you'd have to talk to the school, right? Make sure they don't have
Well,
any noise.
the gym is under the
Right.
town's jurisdiction after hours. That's through Youth and Rec, so I guess I would coordinate with Youth and Rec,
Youth and Rec and make sure
find out what days that they're not using the gym, because they pretty much use the gym
a lot.
all the time.
Okay, well, even like the multi-purpose room, but you're saying we might have to fall under some mask mandates and things like that for that?
I would believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe we would be going for the Great Hall.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's gonna be
I'm
tough.
not laughing because of the judges.
Well,
No,
The
yeah.
quick turnaround.
Well, are you gonna do it when it's warm? Could you put like tents outside and do it?
Our plan was to have it in April so that maybe we could also draft more people from the town to pick up on our cleanup day.
Oh, okay, I like it.
Yeah, and a lot of the things that we started talking about, which we're gonna talk more about it in January, was, sorry, I just got distracted. We were gonna talk about like how it's an education, for water bottles versus town water with filtrations and things like that, cause that's our goal, is to reduce the amount of one-use bottles.
So you do it the same day as the cleanup day? Is the goal?
No, we wanna do it a little bit before the cleanup day, thank you, for, reasons to assign people to those dates.
Okay.
To, like, to different streets and things like that.
I think if you're gonna ask vendors to come in for water, filtration, and stuff like that, I would try to coordinate with the Board of Water Commissioners.
I was going to, because I know that, former Keith Swanson was the one who told me about how cheap it is to use the town's water and really good filtration systems. And you'd save $1,500 to $2,000 a year for the, on water bottles.
Okay. I think if you firm up dates and check with Youth and Rec if you wanted to use the gym, I know that the Red Cross has been using the Great Hall for their blood drives once a quarter, so I don't know, we probably,
You are a non-profit organization, right?
Yes. Yeah, it would be all like go into our account so that we can continue to educate the town on more of the beautification, picking up, well, mine, pick up litter. I don't know.
So is that I guess I would ask Pam if that's a gift account, and then,
We have an account for gifts, we have an account for donations, we have an account for the garden, and then we have our regular fiscal.
okay. I guess if you're gonna use it on the weekend, I would just ask that we cover the cost of having that fair through whatever donations that you get, because it's gonna be a cost to have the room set up and cleaned up and all those things.
Okay. Okay,
I think if you come back with a date, we can make a
Better.
vote.
maybe we would have some idea what that cost was so that we could talk about that, is there an average cost?
There's a form to, at the clerk's office to rent the Great Hall,
Okay,
so. I guess come back with the date.
Sunday, Thursday.
sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you. Okay, the only thing left is to go into executive session to discuss the deployment of security personnel or devices or strategies with respect thereto.
And we'll not be coming out, we'll adjourn from executive session.
Adjourn and not returning to
Right,
regular
not
session.
returning to regular session.
Okay, and,
I move it.
okay, it's been moved.
Second,
All those in favor, Ashley?
Yes.
Troy?
yes.
Myself, yes. All right,
Bye.
thank you.